away. Something was terrible wrong.
We knew we were going to die. We have only little time to live.
July 25th, 1956, 11:10 p.m. The Swedish liner Stockholm plows into the starboard side of the Andrea Doria. For several minutes, the Doria and the Stockholm remain locked together. When they part, the damage is obvious. The Stockholm's 300-ton bow is virtually decapitated, but she remains afloat. On the Doria, 7 of her 10 decks and half of her fuel tanks have split open.
The Doria was only one day out of New York, so its fuel tanks were virtually empty. So what happened was, once the Stockholm sliced into the right-hand side of the Andrea Doria, seawater, tons and tons of seawater started pouring in.
The rush of seawater into her starboard tanks pulls the Doria over. Captain Calamai orders the SOS.
The captain told me to speak by the loudspeaker. I used to say to the crew to go to the boats, to say to the passenger in Italian and in English to go to their master station.
Heading for lifeboats, passengers and crew make a horrifying discovery.
There was enough lifeboat capacity for 2,000 people, and it was only carrying 1,700. But because of the list of the boat, half the lifeboats could not be operated.
It's the Titanic all over again. A shortage of lifeboats means more than half the passengers face imminent death.
I remember holding on the railing, and you could feel that the ship was moving, was going down, because you couldn't let go. Otherwise, you know, you will end up on the other side.
Even reaching the usable lifeboats is a struggle.
We got to the ledge, and we were told, grab a rope and slide down. I says, I'll never make it.
Everybody was pushing each other, you know, pushing each other's head to get down faster, as fast as possible.
At one point, I slipped and just kind of froze a little bit on a ladder, and I kept saying, go, 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 go.
I says, you know, I have to do it. Everybody else is doing it, so I did. You'll do anything to survive.
(2 a.m.) 3 hours since the collision. 6 ships have now answered the SOS and are sending over additional lifeboats. But it's still not enough. More than 900 passengers remain stranded on the Doria.
And all of a sudden, it's like God's miracle. I never forget it until I die. The Ile-de-France had appeared, coming for us.
The Ile-de-France, France's premier luxury liner, arrives just in time and releases 11 lifeboats. Through the early morning, more than 900 passengers board the Ile-de-France, and she heads to New York. "45 crewmen remain on the Doria, and 1 refuses to leave. Captain Piero Calamai.
He told me, maybe you go back to Genoa. Tell to my daughters that I am in peace with myself. I did everything I should do.
Calamai insists he will go down with his beloved ship. At 5:30 a.m., the final Doria crew board a lifeboat, along with a reluctant Captain Calamai.
As we circle, certainly is a sorry sight, a very sad sight indeed, to see the pride of the Italian fleet, Andrea Doria, wallowing here in the Atlantic Ocean.
10 a.m., July 26th. Passengers and crew watch as the Andrea Doria disappears below the waves.
When it sank, it so slowly as it just went down. To me, it was like the dying swan. It's a beautiful dying swan. We cried and we're happy we are alive, but at the same time, we just said, it's gone. It's no more.
Throughout the day, hundreds of survivors disembark in New York. Tony Pacquiano's mother, father, and 4 sisters have been separated during the rescue.
The K-Pan wound up in a Brooklyn pier, and we were met there by my cousin. When we met, he and his mother, they had told us that they had found my 3 sisters, but they didn't know where my mother was.
Days later, Tony's mother arrives on the Stockholm.
When she did come home, you can imagine it's been very emotional time, because she didn't know if we were alive. It was a big relief for all of us, basically, that we finally got together and we all survived, and none of us got injured.
Mother and your sister and your brother. The Diana family was not so lucky. Nearly 50 years later, Gennaro Diana remembers waiting for news of his mother, brother, and sister.
So tell me the story of your family and the Andrea Doria.
I remember we get up 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up, especially, I was so excited to go to New York, with my father and my 2 sisters. Went to New York. All we do is wait and wait and wait and wait, for the news. And nothing happened. After 5 or 6 days, we find out that, didn't make it.
Gennaro's mother, brother, and sister all perished in the lower decks of the Doria. They are among the 51 souls lost at the point of impact. In 1964, Gennaro names his new daughter, Angelina Diana, after the grandmother she never met.
I was named after my grandmother, and I've always felt a certain pride about that, but unfortunately, I never got to know her or my aunt and uncle. So I always kind of felt I missed the connection because I never met my grandmother.
Now, Angelina wants closure to this tragedy, and she wants answers. Why, in what was called the Great Rescue of the Century, did the Dianas lose 3 family members?
I remember being a little kid and just wondering what had happened. How out of all those people that made it, thankfully made it, only a handful didn't, and why were my relatives?
And we're going to the Andrea Doria, and I want to know if there's anything that I can do for you.
If you could put a piece of us, our lives, down there with them, a piece of our family to honor them, so in that way I feel like I'll be closer to them.
On our next dive, we're not only going to honor the Diana family's request, we're going to attempt to penetrate the wreck and locate the point of impact. It's a part of the Doria no one's ever seen, and it won't be easy. After meeting with survivors and collecting eyewitness accounts of the accident, we're back on the wreck of the Andrea Doria. On our first dive, we surveyed the deterioration. The Doria is collapsing fast, which could make penetrating the wreck more difficult and dangerous. On our second dive, we have 2 objectives. 1, we'll place the memory bottle for the Diana family on the wreck. 2, we'll try to make it inside and reach the point of impact. The point of impact may still hold evidence that was never seen by investigators. The size and shape of the damage may tell us more about the collision. reaching the point of impact means diving to over 250 feet. Going that deep while breathing air pushes the body to the very limits of human endurance.
The Andrea Doria has a well-deserved reputation for being deep, dark, and dangerous. Under the best of conditions, it's an extremely challenging dive.
The air that we breathe is composed of two gases, oxygen and nitrogen. For divers diving deep, each of these gases poses a problem. Oxygen becomes toxic, and nitrogen becomes narcotic.
Diving air to the Andrea Doria is similar to having 5 martinis on an empty stomach.
Nitrogen narcosis. It's called rapture of the deep. Like alcohol, the nitrogen in the diver's blood can make him disoriented and confused. And the high level of oxygen in his blood can become poisonous. The diver can convulse and drown. So the way we address this problem is to the diver's breathing gas mixture, we add helium. Helium is a gas that's non-toxic and it's non-narcotic. And by substituting helium into the mix, we reduce the amount of oxygen and the amount of nitrogen. These 3 gases in the diver's breathing gas mixture are called trimix. Trimix reduces the risk of both nitrogen narcosis and oxygen toxicity. It's safer. It gives you a clear head.
When you dive trimix to a wreck at 250 feet like the Andrea Doria, the wreck opens up. You're able to see clearly and remember your dive.
It's the advantage we'll need to maneuver deep inside the wreck and to come back alive. The next day, we enjoy bright sun and calm seas. Great dive conditions. For our second dive, we're joined by Carrie Bassetti, Richie's fiance. She's attempting her first dive on the Doria, and it's got Richie a bit nervous. Half the deaths on the Doria were first-time divers. If she makes it, she will be only the 13th woman in history to reach the wreck. It's taken Carrie 2 years of training to get here. But this dive will take her far deeper than she's ever gone before. As we make our 4-minute descent to the wreck of the Andrea Doria, Richie keeps a close eye on Carrie. We reach the high side of the wreck, and with an all okay, we set out in search of an entry point inside. On our first dive, we stayed near the upper levels on the hull of the wreck, at about 190 feet. Richie and Carrie stay at 190 and move towards the bow, while I begin dropping down towards the ocean floor. 220. 230. 240. At 250 feet, I reach the debris field. The deterioration is astounding. The wreck's insides have spilled out onto the seafloor. Jagged metal shards are everywhere. The extreme depth and alien landscape make it easy to get disoriented or become ensnared on a piece of the wreckage. Here's where trimix can save your life. It keeps you focused and in control of your dive. As we search out an entry point, every prospect becomes a dead end. The deterioration seems to have pinched off every possible way inside. Even with trimix, we limit our bottom time to 25 minutes. It's time to start back to the surface. On my way back to the anchor line, I find a porthole directly above the collision area. Not far from here is where Angelina, Vittoria, and Biagio Diana died.